All across the globe, buildings rise that look like relics of another age. Grand temples, ancient churches, and medieval city centers. But here's the twist. Many of these were built not centuries ago, but within the last few decades. Why does this matter? Because these structures challenge everything we're told about architecture. That classical styles are outdated. That modern techniques are cheaper. That people only think they like old buildings. But clearly, when the will exists, we can still build with beauty, craftsmanship, and historical reverence. So in this video, we're going to explore which buildings look ancient but are modern, why they were built that way, what this reveals about public taste, politics, and design, and why it's time to rethink how we build for the future. This is not just about stone and concrete. It's about meaning, memory, and the kind of world we want to leave behind. Modern buildings that look ancient. Let's begin with examples. Real, breathtaking places that defy the timeline. Ranganathaswamy Temple, India. The temple in Tiruchirappalli has stood in some form for centuries. But its tallest gopuram, the monumental tower, was only finished in 1987. From a distance, it's indistinguishable from ancient temples carved hundreds of years ago. The artisans respected the original form and extended it with incredible fidelity. Warsaw Old Town, Poland. Warsaw was devastated during World War II. Its old town was nearly obliterated. But in the decades that followed, locals meticulously rebuilt it using old maps, paintings, and photographs, stone by stone. Today, you'd think it was never touched, a living example of cultural memory made real again. Swaminarayan Akshardham, India. Constructed between 2000 and 2005, this massive Hindu temple followed ancient Indian architectural rules. No steel, no concrete, just stone, carved by 7,000 artisans. Thousands of detailed sculptures cover its walls, not as replicas, but as continuation of a living tradition. Dresden Frauenkirche, Germany. Bombed into ruins during World War II, the church sat for decades as a pile of rubble, a somber monument. In the 1990s, a public campaign led to its resurrection. Using original stones, carefully catalogued, the church was rebuilt in the exact original Baroque style. It reopened in 2005, its dome once again rising above Dresden's skyline. Kinkakuji, Japan. This golden temple in Kyoto dates back to the 14th century, until it was burned down by a disturbed monk in 1950. It was rebuilt quickly and accurately, showing that even in tragedy, traditions can endure. Great Cloth Hall, Ypres, Belgium. Originally a 14th century commercial building, it was bombed to dust in World War I. Reconstruction took until 1967, but every stone was placed with care. It now stands as one of the finest examples of secular Gothic architecture in Europe. St. Sava Cathedral, Serbia. Work began in the 1930s. Then war halted progress. Only in the 1980s did construction resume, blending traditional Serbian Byzantine forms with modern engineering. The result? A colossal church rooted in heritage and finished just decades ago. Oxhorn Campus, Huawei HQ, China. Finished in 2019, this corporate campus is designed like a European village, featuring architectural nods to cities like Oxford and Bruges. It's a tech headquarters that looks like a Renaissance city, blending past and future in one surreal experiment. Central Mosque, Astana, Kazakhstan. Completed in 2022, it's one of the largest mosques in the world. Its design echoes centuries-old Islamic architecture, with a colossal dome, minarets, and mosaic-rich interiors. But it's brand new, a spiritual space in classical form for the modern age. The modern dilemma. So why do we keep hearing that we can't build like that anymore? We're told traditional buildings are too expensive, too slow, too irrelevant, or even politically problematic. But that narrative falls apart the moment we look at the facts. Warsaw, Dresden, and Ypres proved that people will go to incredible lengths and expense to restore heritage. Not because it's trendy, but because it means something. In India, thousands of artisans were trained just to complete Akshardham. In Kazakhstan and Serbia, classical design was chosen not for nostalgia, but identity. So what's really holding us back? Not cost, not skill, but will, and a broader cultural assumption that modernity must reject the past. The case for beauty. The truth is, people like beautiful things. When asked, the public consistently ranks traditional architecture higher in surveys than abstract or purely functional modernist buildings. Why? Because older styles offer familiarity, human scale, craftsmanship, ornamentation, emotional resonance. Contrast that with many modern buildings, sterile boxes of glass and steel, often designed more for shock than soul. Now, this isn't to bash modernism. Some modern buildings, like the Sydney Opera House or the Guggenheim Museum, are breathtaking. But the problem is exclusivity. When we're only allowed to build one way, we lose the richness and diversity of architectural dialogue. London is beautiful because it blends old and new. New York's skyline is iconic because of Art Deco and modernism. We don't need to choose between the past and the future. We can have both. The public deserves a voice. Architecture is the only art we're forced to live with. You don't have to hang a painting in your house. You don't have to listen to a song you hate. But you do have to walk past, or into, buildings every single day. And yet, architecture is often decided by elite institutions, avant-garde architects, or political ideologues. But what if we designed for the people who live there? Not just for innovation's sake. Not just for efficiency. But for joy. For beauty. For identity. Public buildings, city halls, libraries, churches, museums, schools should inspire the public. And that means the public should have a say. Hope, Indiana Stone. The great news: there is hope. We're seeing a slow but steady return to classical architecture in new projects. The Schermerhorn Symphony Center in Nashville, built in 2006 in neoclassical style. The People's Salvation Cathedral in Romania, completed in 2019 in Byzantine form. Sultan Qaboos Grand Mosque in Oman, completed in 2001 with intricate Islamic architecture. None of these are reconstructions. They're new, and yet timeless. They prove we can still build beautifully. We haven't lost the skills. We've just stopped asking for them. But if we change the narrative, if we say yes, we can build like that, then architects and developers will respond. Because ultimately, architecture is a reflection of what a culture values. If we value beauty, memory, and meaning, we can make room for them again. Subscribe if you believe beauty still belongs in modern life. Comment with examples from your city. Are there new buildings that look historic? Share this video with someone who loves architecture, or who thinks we can't build like this anymore. Let's start a conversation about what kind of world we want to build. We live in a time when we're told to forget the past. That progress means abandoning beauty, tradition, and soul. But the buildings around us tell a different story. From Poland to Japan, from India to Belgium, from China to the US, new buildings have risen that honor the old. Not as replicas, but as continuations of culture. Architecture doesn't have to be either ancient or modern. It can be alive, evolving, respectful, meaningful. We can still build with wonder, with purpose, and with the belief that future generations deserve to inherit places that inspire awe. Because ultimately, a city is more than steel and stone. It's a mirror of what we love. And it's time to build like we mean it.